today, look who came out to play. It has been a while since we saw Fred. But first, I want to welcome all the new subscribers. There have been just a lot of you in the last month. So thank you all so very much for clicking on the channel and giving it a chance. I hope you find something that you like here. There is a wealth of information, but if there is something you need to or want to know, please don't hesitate. Put a comment in the comments about what it is that you would like, or drop me an email. Always open to that. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so very much. You guys are the best, and I just thank you so much for continuing to hang out with me despite all the kerfluffles. We had some this morning. That's why I didn't record this morning, and I am only recording now at 1:15 in the afternoon. But I thought, okay, let's bring Fred out to play. We were having a conversation in the Zoom, when was that? Saturday. And people were saying, oh, Karen, we haven't seen Fred for quite some time. I said, no, you haven't. And I really don't know if I want to or I'm going to finish him. Well, that didn't go over so well. It really didn't. I had my reasons for feeling that way, because you can't see it. I can see it. There are places where my stitching is not up to my standard. Okay? Let me clarify that. I am not comparing my stitching with other people. Okay? What I'm comparing it with is my standard of stitching. What I expect of me when I'm stitching a piece. Not caring what others think. You know, others may say, oh, it's wonderful, or oh, it's terrible, or oh, it's this, or oh, it's that. And really, it's my piece. So that isn't what bothers me. What bothers me is there are places on this that are not meeting my expectations. I need to put my other glasses on. Hold the phone. They're not meeting my expectations. And yes, that being said, I am my own worst enemy. True. Very true. I am my own worst enemy. And the gals that were on Zoom with me are probably right. I expect it to be perfect, or as perfect as I can make it, because that's just how I am. And when I was going through that period of time when I was having trouble with my vision because I had the wrong prescription in my glasses and could not see very well, it's during that time that the stitching on this did not meet what I expected. So we had quite the conversation about that. And you know, they are right. I am hardest on myself. And they are right. 3-foot rule. You all know what the 3-foot rule is. Stand back 3 feet from your piece and see how it looks. Are you going to see that little X that was not crossed correctly? Or where you missed the hole and took it over into the other X? Are you going to see that? Are you going to see the bumpiness of the floss because things are not all laying as nice as you would like them to? Not all stitches are even. They don't all have their fall in their perfect little holes. Probably you're not going to see that. And the only one that's going to see that is me when I stand up close. So, gals, that you were with me on Zoom, I really have taken that, given that a lot of thought. And you're right. You're absolutely right. I am my own worst enemy. I try to give a lot of information to a lot of you on how to make your stitches nice, or how to do this, or how to do that, and all those good, wonderful things. And it would not be very right of me if I didn't apply those same things to myself. Not that everybody has to take my advice, because they surely don't. But I have given some pretty good tips over the years. I must say so. So, given all of that, and given the fact that they are absolutely right, my daughter is not going to look at the imperfections in my stitching, but she is going to be able to say, my mom made that for me. My grandkids can say, my grandma made that for me. And they're right that that is the more important aspect of doing this, and why Fred needs to be dusted off and come out of the closet and get worked on and get finished. Because as you see in that picture, I don't have much to do. And a lot of this that I'm working on here right now, let me move this a little bit more. This is just big block stitching. Seriously, Karen, you can whip that out in a short period of time. And if you put your mind to it, you can get Adams started. Because I'm sure he would like to be able to say, my mother-in-law made me that stocking. And I had a little sip of refreshment there. So I caved. Well, I shouldn't say it as I caved. I took to heart what my friends are telling me and decided that, they are right. And you just really need to finish it. And if you put your mind to it, there's the big if word. If you put your mind to it, it shouldn't take you all that long. Like I said, because it is a lot of block stitching. you know. But yeah, I am my own worst enemy, and I'm sure a lot of you are much the same. And it's difficult to give that up, of being able to say, well, you know what? Nobody's going to notice that those stitches right there don't lay so well together. And some of them are bumpy and others aren't. And, I can go through a section and it'll all be fine and wonderful. And then I'll get to the next section and they're all bumpy and lumpy and, oh, I don't like it at all. Is it because I'm not parking and I'm basically at this point color completing? So I'm not following. Okay, there's no rules. First of all, let's just say that there's no rules. I'm not following my recommended best practice of coming up in an empty hole or a hole with only one thread in it and going down in a hole that has 2 or more threads in it. Now, I bet you if I didn't wear my scientific goggles to help me stitch, I wouldn't be noticing these lumpy, bumpy things. I will say that since I am using them, I have noticed more lumps and bumps in my stitching that I don't think were there before. So there's also something to be said for that. But I think the whole bottom line, guys, is, let me cross this row out too, so I don't lose my place here. The whole bottom line and the whole thing we all should think about and we all should keep in mind is this is a hobby, okay? It is not a competition. Please. And that's why I made this statement in the beginning of I'm not comparing myself with other people. Let me say that again. I'm not comparing myself with other people. Who I am comparing myself to is myself. Okay? So it goes to what I have said before about stitch what makes you happy, stitch how, use the method that makes you happy. As long as you are happy with the end result, that is all that matters. Nothing else matters but how you feel about your stitching. It doesn't matter how I feel about it. It doesn't matter how the woman down the street feels about it. What matters is how you feel about it. Did you enjoy it? Was it fun? Were you so frustrated you want to throw against a wall? Days. Do you look at the stitching and think, whoa, that's really good. I did a really good job on that today. Or, that's not quite to what I want my stitches to look like. Notice the word what I want, not what the lady down the street, not what the people in my group, not anybody else, just what I want. So I had to get past some of that. And I am thankful to my friends that were on Zoom with me on Saturday for that, because that definitely helped me to straighten out what I was feeling about why I didn't want to finish this, because really that's where I was. Oh, this is not up to my standard of stitching. Not anybody else's standard, but my standard of stitching. I was not happy with that. But when I looked at the other things, nobody's going to notice the bumps and the lumps. The positive is my daughter's going to be able to say, my mom made me that stocking. You know, hopefully I'll get Adam's finished too, and Adam will be able to say, my mother-in-law made me that stocking. And really, when it boils right down to push comes to shove, they're right. Which is more important? Which is more important? The fact that they have something made by me to hopefully treasure when I am not here anymore? Or are my perfect stitches more important? So maybe, folks, everyone needs to. I'm looking for my. That's not it either. My snag nabbit. I don't quite know where I put it. Anyway, and when you think about it that way, they are right. They are right. And that just finally sunk in. It took a group of people to kind of sit me down and say, now look, just really think about it. Think about it differently. So, ladies, thank you. Because now I will finish Fred. That's why he got dusted off today. He came out of his project bag. We blew the dust off because he's been in there for quite a while. In fact, I didn't keep very good records last year. I really didn't. But I probably could count on one hand the number of times I worked on him last year, which really was not very often. Maybe 5 times. Maybe. That's probably pushing it. Okay, these, I should move these or take off these page lines because they do kind of sort of really mess me up when I'm looking at this chart. Because I see that line and it's like, no, wait. That's not the end of the block. That's a page line. So, yeah. So I'm here. Okay. So, anyway, that's the story of why Fred is back on the hoop. And really, it's kind of unthreading my needle. It's really kind of nice to do a stitch with me with him right now because it is so much of the same color. I don't have to be changing a lot of colors. I can just sit and fill in the blanks. You know, and then the other thing comes up as I'm looking at this through my scientific goggles. Let me take another drink here. Because they do make it look worse than it would look, especially you're right up on it, than it would look if you didn't have them on and you were back here away from it. It really doesn't look as bad as I think it looks. But as far as neatness of your stitches, we all know it's no new news that I have a love-hate relationship with parking. I love the way it makes my stitches look because working the way I work it, you always are coming up in empty holes. You're always going down in holes that are occupied already, as opposed to here where I'm coming up and going down in dirty holes. So I'm not following that best practice. Part of, well, no, not part. Most of that is why my stitches are not to my liking. So the next trick will be how to mesh together the thought of, Karen, if you want your stitches to look the way you really want them to look, you probably have to do the parking and work in a systematic down the row or column or whatever, systematically, so that you're always coming up, as I always preach, in the empty holes and going down in the dirty ones. But that conflicts with my need to have a little bit faster progress in order to maybe get something finished in a reasonable amount of time and not have to change color so often. I know. Say it. I hear you. It's coming through not faintly, but it's getting louder. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You have to decide. I have to decide which is more important. Is it more important to have perfection, or not have to change colors so often, not have to not have it take as long as it would if I park. All points to ponder. This is a pondering video. Did you notice that? All things to ponder about what we expect from our stitching. Really, what we expect, or why. Why is it that we stitch? What is it that stitching does for you? Does it bring you joy? Does it help you relax? Does it occupy time so that you're doing something productive with your hands? Do you get the pleasure out of the process of stitching? Or is your satisfaction more from finishing a piece? Is it more important to keep the pieces? Or is it more important to finish them and give them as a gift? Just all things that think about. Think about. Put your thoughts in the comments. I'd be interested in hearing what. Okay, let's unthread the needle again. What all of you think. I'm sure everybody stitches for different reasons, but I mean, there's probably as many different reasons to stitch as there are things to stitch. Yeah, but I would be interested. Why? What does stitching do for you? Why do you do it? Why do you enjoy it? Just some things to think about. You know, I've seen some talk about that on the internet lately. About, you know, just that kind of thing. Why do we stitch? Why? What does it do for you? Because I might stitch for a totally different reason than you do. You probably stitch for a totally different reason than I do. I like finishes, but I also like to just stitch, which is one of the reasons why. That was another thing that came up. How many projects people have going. I have a few. I have a few. And why is that? Why is that? Why do we have so many? I mean, I don't have the number that some people have. I mean, I think if I had 50 projects going, like I've heard, that would really give me the heebie-jeebies. I would be a basket case with all of that. I don't think I could. No. Which is why I kind of do a purge every now and again of looking at, okay, what things do you have started? What things do you really want to finish? What things did you fall out of love with, and it's been quite a while, and you're not gonna go back to them. So rehome them Yeah. But I have a few, and some days I can work on several. I might start out with this, I might jump to something else, and then I might even jump to the third thing in a day's time. It just depends on the mood of the day. But that's just the way it is. And there's lots of people that do that too. So, in fact, I have had this unsettledness ever since I finished Stitcher's Retreat. I just can't seem to find that, and maybe I never will, that one project that really sucks you in and says, you're going to work on this and you're not going to work on anything else. I haven't found that again. I'm not sure I will. So I jump around. But that at least explains it. But I have a little time here yet. Let's talk a little bit about my stand. See, how many stitches did I do? Just for the count before I get into talking about my stand. I have done, oops, hold on here, let me mark these off. It might be a record, folks. I've done 90 stitches just in about 15-20 minutes since I started talking, because the video has been going on for 30 minutes. So that's not too shabby. That's more than I usually do. But let's take a little break, and you guys keep stitching. But let's talk a little bit about my stand. I got and I will do a full-fledged video on both of my Dubko stands. I got the sofa stand, which I use for scrolls, but I can put a hoop on that if you position the arms correctly. And at first I was a little uncertain about it, but in working with it and in trying to find the way to position it, number one, and the angles to work with it on my recliner, I do like that if I'm going to stitch on a scroll frame. But I also got, let me see if I can do the camera a little bit this way, and maybe I can zoom out. Zoom out. Aha, there we go. Let's take Fred away. Go away, Fred. Good night. See you later. Alligator. Turn him off. There we go. Okay, let's move him. Let's move me over here a little bit. But this is my, here we go. There we go. This is my table stand. Now you're going, oh, what's all of this? Because this was not on the pictures when I got it. So let me hold it this way. Okay. So you can get a little bit of a better look at it. Okay, so here's the base. Okay, this adjusts this arm. So you open this, and then this can go up or down. Let me come back this way a little bit and do like this. Oh, is that better? Okay, so this, whoops, this, I can always do this. There we go. Makes it go this way. Okay, so you have the freedom to put it as high as you want or bring it down as low as you want. Okay? And then you just tighten it up. This one does this. So you can put it, again, as high as you want. In fact, it will flip all the way over like this, or whatever angle you need it in order to stitch. And then you tighten it up. Now you must loosen these before you try and turn this. You must loosen this. And then when you have it where you need it, then you make them tight. Okay. Now this way. This contraption here is not part of the original stand. This I bought separately to put on, but this is the rotary clamp. So this, if you open it up, you can spin this 360 degrees. To get to the back of your work. So instead of doing this to get to the back of your work, you just flip this, which is wonderful. Which is wonderful. That has been my beef with quite a few stands, of having to go take this and flip it up this way in order to get to the back, and I don't like that. I like to be able to do it like this. Now, I don't have it on, but this piece can come off. And then you can put this piece on. It's backwards, but you get the idea. You can put this piece on, and this will hold your scroll frames. Pretty cool. Or, and I have not figured out how to do it. There is a place somewhere. Oh, I think it's in here someplace, where I don't remember exactly, but you can take a screw out, and there are pieces that you can put on. This comes off, I believe. You can put on pieces that will hold a Q-snap. You can't have all of them on at the same time. It's one or the other. So, you know, if you want to work on a scroll, this comes off, those arms go on. If you want to work on a Q-snap, this comes off, the Q-snap thing goes on, and that goes. I did see the hole that you put it into, and now I don't remember where it is, but it might even be on this lower piece. But anyway, you can only have one on at a time. However, my honest opinion so far, and I only got this right before Christmas, so I've only had it about a month. My honest opinion so far is this is the most versatile stand that I have used to date. If I only could buy one, the sofa stand or this one. Which one do you think it would be? This one. Now, I personally have tried to use it as a lap stand in my lap. I could not make that work for me. But what I can do, if I want to be in my recliner and not have this on a table, if I want to sit in my recliner and I want to stitch with this, I have a lap desk. Okay, one of those little desk things that just sit on your lap that maybe you use to write letters when you're in your recliner or whatever. I put a lap desk on my lap, set this on the lap desk. It's perfect because I can adjust all of this to where I need it so that I can stitch. It worked perfectly. Now, for all of your accessories that you need, you better have a little table aside of you because you do need a place to put your chart or your tablet. You do need a place to put all your threads and scissors and all the good stuff. But if I could only purchase one of them, this would be the one I would get. This one would give me the most use. I can use it for hoops. I can use it for Q-snaps. I can use it for scrolls. Someone asked me, well, how big a scroll can you put on it? Well, sitting here at the table with the arms on it, I had a 36-inch scroll on it, and it did not tip front. Sitting with it on my recliner, with the lap desk on my lap, and this sitting on the lap desk, I had that same 36-inch scroll. Now, the only thing is the constraint of space when you're in a recliner. Okay? That's a pretty wide. And do you have enough room on each side of you to be able to manipulate that scroll frame to work where you need to work? That's more the issue. The stand is not the issue. The stand will hold it. And it did not tip front. I mean, really, it's very solid. Very solid. So, that's my brief assessment of this stand at this point in time. I'll do a better video on both of them in the near future. So keep an eye out for that. Again, it's just my opinion. Okay? We all know Karen has used about every stand. Not everyone, but I've been through a lot of stands. Trying to find the best one for me. What is the best one for me may not be the best one for you. So also keep that in mind. We're all different. We all have different expectations of the stands. We all have different expectations, what we want to do, how we want to stitch, what we want to stitch, where we want to stitch, and that criteria might be quite different for somebody else than it is for me. What I have found with what my need is, this one by far is the best one that I have used up to this point. So, there you have it. So, with that, again, I don't want to get too long here with that, Fred has 90 stitches finished in this time that we have spent together. That's not too shabby for me because usually I maybe only get 10 or 20, if that. But to let you know where we're at, Fred has 76,879 total stitches. That's pretty small in the grand scheme of things of stuff I stitch. I have finished 56,017 stitches. I don't have that much to do. I am at 72.86%. Yes, I can get this done for this Christmas. I know. I said I was going to have it done for last Christmas, and that didn't happen. But yes, we can get it done for this Christmas. And I think I have my mindset changed. So I think I can do this. I think I can finish it. And if I decide to put it back in the project bag and into a dark place, you all need to yell at me. Yeah, I could take it. Just yell at me and say, you need to get it back out. Remember what you said in this video of cleaning off the dust? Just remind me of that. Yeah. So anyway, my friends, I think we are going to call it a day today. I really have not much else to ramble on about. I think I rambled enough. So with that, I hope all of you have a wonderful week. Get a lot of stitching done. Stay safe. Be kind. And I will see you